counseling video presentation, and I will be doing Adlerian therapy. So I am here with Miss Loretta, and okay. I am here with Miss Loretta. Hi, Miss Loretta. I'm
Hi,
Teresa. Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you.
Thank you. I was reviewing some of your paperwork, and I see that you are having some issues regarding some grief.
Yeah, it's been hard on me ever since my best friend, Mary Sue, moved to California.
Mhm.
Really hard.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that. So with this grief, during what moments do you have that tends to trigger, what feelings do you have in response of this grief? What do you tend to experience?
I guess just the feeling of loss, the feeling that, this person that I was so close to, that I could depend on, that I could talk to about my deepest feelings. It was like my emotional support. Like all of a sudden she's not there. It's just this feeling of um, what's missing. So much is missing.
Yeah, I bet that can be hard.
Yeah.
Um, so what I would like to do is, if you don't mind, we'd like to ask you a few questions, and maybe help deal with your grief and help get some answers to help you move forward a little bit. These
Yeah.
questions will entail some questions about your family,
Yeah.
um, yeah, and some early memories that you may have had, and they may include even your friend, your best friend. So if that's okay with you, I'd like to get
Okay.
started with asking you some questions. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So what was it like? What was it like growing up in your household? Like who were you living with? Did you grow up with your parents, your grandparents?
Yeah. We lived with my grandmother. Our parents just had a lot of problems. Dad wasn't around. And my mom just had some issues, and so um, um, our grandma raised us.
Okay. And so when you say us, there seems to be more than just one of you.
Yeah, my sister, Jane, my older sister.
Okay. So you're the youngest.
hmm
Yeah. Okay. And what was that like being the youngest and with your grandma? What was that dynamic like?
Well, I always kind of felt like my sister was she was the favorite. I don't know, for some reason she kind of got noticed more. She seemed like she was the smart one. She always did better in school and seemed talented. She was the cheerleader and all that stuff. And it seemed like my grandma just favored her more and like she criticized me more and stuff like that.
Interesting. But that was hard.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I
And
feel bad.
yeah. And what were some things that you believe you excelled at while you were in school?
Um, well, I did pretty good in math, but that was about it.
Oh, well, that's good. Do you still enjoy math?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Crunching those
Good.
numbers. That was my thing.
Really? Well, that's good. That's really good to hear. I'm not a big math person, so it's good to have people like you in the world.
Yeah, thank you.
So, what was your dynamic with your sister like?
Well, sometimes she used to bully me. Seemed like she was somehow she could kind of lord it over me, and sometimes I would get mad at her, and then Grandma would get mad at me because she was picking on me, but it's like it looked like I was the one starting it, so stuff like that.
Mhm. And how did that make you feel when she would blame you for your sister's actions?
I just felt like life wasn't fair. I just felt like everything was just so unfair.
Mm. And so let's talk about your mom and your dad. You said that they were not around and that
Yeah.
they had their own issues. Is that correct?
hmm Yeah. Yeah, my
Okay.
mom,
And so what was your relationship?
she just had some like, you know, substance abuse type issues, stuff like that. So yeah, she just was never there for us. And I guess she just couldn't handle being a mom.
Okay. And what about your dad?
I never met him. I really didn't know anything about him. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it sounds like, just a little connection, that your parents not being present, there was a lot of grief there as well.
Yeah, probably so. I never thought about that.
Yeah. So do you still keep in contact with your mom currently?
Um, I've tried over the years, but she doesn't seem real intent on contacting him. She's kind of doing her own
Okay.
thing.
Okay. And what about grandma? Is she still around or?
Well, she actually passed away recently, about a year ago. And then now my friend has left. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Seems like a lot of loss.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so I'm gonna ask the next set of questions. We're gonna push a little forward. Is going to be some early memories that you have. These memories are to be memories that you can recall firsthand
hmm
and what feelings you have. Let's try to do about 3 memories if you are able. If you can only get out 1 or 2, then that's completely fine.
Okay,
Okay. I
okay,
just want to hear a little bit about how you interpret your feelings and your recollections.
okay. So like one thing I remember was one time when I was like we were trying to clean up the playroom and so I was supposed to do some sweeping and at one point my grandma came over and she just like took the broom away from me and she's like, "You're too slow." And she just started doing it for me. And meanwhile, my sister was, she was doing whatever she was doing. And she didn't get in trouble or anything. And but I was the slow one, so that made me feel bad.
Mhm.
And I don't know, what are some other memories? Um, well, let's see. I remember one time we were playing outside and my sister just pushed me down like for no good reason. And I had some new clothes on that day,
Hmm.
and my grandma had told us, don't get dirty. And anyway, then my sister pushed me down, and so I got dirty, and so then I got in trouble because my clothes were dirty. Just weird things like that. Just always seemed unfair.
Yeah. I'm sorry you went through that.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I just have a lot of depression, just a lot of negative thoughts in my mind, just feeling like life is so unfair. And then my friend is gone and everything. It just feels like everything's just unfair. Everything's like crazy.
Let me ask you, your friend, let's talk about your friend
Yeah.
for just a quick second. Uh, how long have you known this friend?
Well, we met each other in the third grade, so it was a long time ago.
You have
And
some pretty good memories with her?
yeah, yeah, we were playing on the playground and well, we just hit it off and she was just such a source of emotional support in my life. We just always had a good time together. I felt accepted by her.
That's wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling to feel accepted.
Yeah.
Friendships are very essential and relationships are very essential.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So next we're gonna push forward and I'm gonna ask you just your level of satisfaction you have in certain areas of your life, okay? If you don't have anything to say, then that's fine. We can move on. I don't want you to feel pressured. I don't want
Okay.
you to feel any anxiety. I don't want you to feel like you obligated to have to answer these questions, okay? So whatever you feel most comfortable with, all right? Okay. So your romantic life, how is that going for you? Any intimate, significant others that's present in your life right now?
No, not really. No, I had a boyfriend in high school for a while, and then he cheated on me, which
Hmm.
didn't surprise me somehow. Just seems like things like that always happen to me. And I don't know, I just hadn't been too involved with anybody since then.
Okay. Okay. What about your work life? How are things at work going?
Um, Pretty good, I guess. I've been working as a teacher's aide, just helping out in the classroom, helping with the kids. I thought that would be a good thing to do, and you know, it's kind of difficult sometimes. Sometimes kids can get out of hand, but I guess that goes pretty good most of the time.
Do you feel
Sometimes,
pretty fulfilled doing it?
yeah, pretty much. I mean, sometimes it can be pretty stressful, but you know, it's a living.
It's a living.
Yeah.
Hmm. And what about your friendships?
I guess I've had a hard time really finding any good friendships. It just seems like Mary Sue was the main one. She was my support, and I don't know. I've had trouble feeling accepted by people for some reason. It just seems like so many people are just so rejecting of me. You know, and I just have all these thoughts like, you know, I'm just a failure, and just nobody likes me. You know, nothing's ever going to be good in my life. It's just horrible. It's just so horrible. Everything's just, nothing makes any sense. And I feel like a loser. I feel like such a failure all the time. I just feel so bad about myself.
Okay, well, I can see that, this has hit a nerve, like, and upset you. So I would like to do an
Yeah.
exercise with you, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. First, I'd like for us to take a deep breath. So we're going to breathe in and we're going to breathe out. And then I'm going to ask you to close your eyes.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you to think of a happy memory and allow yourself to be filled with the feelings of that happy memory.
Okay.
What is that happy memory?
I remember when I was about 6 years old, just having a really good birthday. Um, it seemed like my grandma was paying more attention to me, and there were some other kids that were there, and you know, I felt accepted. I felt loved, and you know, people were actually paying attention to me, and it was positive. And you know, that was a really good day for me. Really had fun.
Good. Okay. So one more time. Well, two more times. Have you close your eyes again. Breathe in and breathe out. Now think of a sad memory and allow yourself to be immersed in those feelings. Now, what is that? How do you feel now?
Well, I feel the despair that I felt. Thinking about when my friend left for California after saying goodbye to her, just that devastation.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. One last time. Close your eyes. Breathe in and breathe out. Now think about when you were 6 years old again and you were highly accepted and you felt totally loved. How do you feel right now?
Yeah, I feel happy now.
Good.
That's
So
good.
I want you to understand that in those moments when grief comes
Hmm.
and those thoughts of depression and despair comes into your mind, you have the cognitive tools to be able to change your thoughts and therefore influence your emotions.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay?
That's neat.
Okay, good, good. So this is, I'm gonna ask one last question and
Okay.
then I'll be able to, and then we'll start wrapping up.
Okay.
So let's say that your grief, you wake up tomorrow morning and your grief is gone, right?
Hmm.
What does, and you are, and you feel accepted by everyone. What does that ideal look for you? What does your ideal highest version of self look like?
I guess I would feel happy and self-confident. Yeah, if everybody seemed to like me and I felt good about myself, that would be a very happy feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign you a task to do, okay? And then me and you're going to discuss it on our next session, okay?
Okay.
And I hope to see you again.
Okay.
So what I'm going to ask you to do is when you get home, I want you to write out 3 things you like about yourself,
Okay.
okay? 3 things that you like about yourself that you accept within yourself, okay? And then you bring those 3 things back and we'll discuss them and we'll be able to move forward from there, okay?
Okay.
It
Sounds
sounds like
good.
something good. It sounds like something you're
Feel
willing
better
to do?
already.
Great, great. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. Hi, Janet. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So, what brings you into counseling today?
Well, I've been feeling pretty sad lately. Don't
Yeah.
really have a lot of energy, don't have a lot of drive to do anything. I've been calling into work a lot often and just really want to lay in bed and don't do anything.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So, it sounds like maybe you're experiencing some depression.
Yeah, I've been diagnosed with major depressive disorder when
Mm.
I was younger. I thought I got over it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought I got over it, but I don't know. Just recently, it just started all coming back, and
Hmm.
it's been so hard, honestly.
Yeah. 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 Especially when you felt like you had gotten past that point. It must be really disappointing to feel that way again.
Oh yeah, I feel like it's something that I did, I don't know. Like I was doing fine and I was happy, I was in a relationship and but then we broke up and
Mm.
I don't know, and then just nothing just seems to really matter anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I really thought I had it figured out. I really did.
Hmm. So it seemed like having going through a breakup happened right before the depression came back.
Yeah, I don't want to give him that much credit, but but yeah, it's that's when I started feeling really sad and
Mm.
just laying in bed and not really wanting to do anything. I mean, there's
Yeah.
really no one to do it with then.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
My friends call me and everything, but I don't feel like going out.
yeah. Yeah. Sounds like, even though you want to not give him too much credit, it's difficult going through a breakup that can really affect you for a while, kind of bring you
Yeah,
down. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, um, I was wondering, maybe you could tell me a little bit about your family. Maybe that could help us to understand more about kind of your feelings, the way that you think, and what might contribute to some of the depression you're having. What was your family like when you were growing up?
Well, I mean, I guess we were pretty close. I'm the only child.
Yeah.
I don't have any siblings.
Hmm.
And I mean, I guess we were pretty close. My mom and my dad, they weren't together at the beginning part when I was like a kid.
Yeah.
They got together and I was like 4. Like so like one moment he wasn't there and then the
Yeah.
next moment he was.
Yeah.
And then me and my mom is really close. Me and my dad, we had a lot of arguments when I was growing up. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. And so that was really hard. Me and him never really
Yeah.
had the best relationship.
Mm. Yeah. Well, that's hard. That's a difficult thing to go through.
Yeah, it was, he would drink, and every time he would drink, he would kind of bully me and
Mm.
my mom. He would get very verbally abusive towards us both.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was really, really sad. Um, and then he cheated on her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then he was gone again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then it was just me and my mom for a while, and then she took him back.
Mm.
Yeah, and I was angry at her for taking him back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was angry at her because he hurt her so badly, and I didn't understand like why she would take him back after he cheated
Yeah.
on her.
Yeah. Sounds like your dad did a lot of things that caused a lot of pain in your
Mhm.
family.
Yeah, for
That's a lot
sure.
of turmoil. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that can really have an impact when you have to deal with things like that growing up.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and it was he never whooped me. My mom whooped me, and but he never laid a hand on me. But despite him never laying a hand on me and mom being verbally abusive towards me,
Mhm.
that it seems like that did more damage
Hmm.
because my mom whooped me, but me and her are fine.
Yeah. Yes.
Always trying to impress her. I'm always trying to like make her happy.
Yeah.
Um, I try to strive to be the best I can be so that she can look at me and be happy. And I think that when she looks at my dad, she kind of gets sad.
Yeah.
So when she looks, I want her to be able to be proud about something.
Yeah.
So I try to do that for her.
Yeah. So it sounds like even though your mom, you're saying she was the one that did the corporal punishment, but your dad, it's like you're good with her, but with your dad, he was more like verbally abusive,
Mhm.
and that really caused a lot of issues. Sounds like, but with your mom, you feel like very close, and you want to like just bring joy to her life. It sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you have that support with your mom, especially when your dad's been difficult. That relationship
Mm.
has caused a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Difficult. That's the word. He's been
yeah,
difficult.
hmm yeah. Sounds like it. Well, so sounds like that probably has contributed somewhat to some of the difficulties you're having. So when you're suffering from the depression, like what kind of thoughts come to you?
Like I'm not enough. I'm not worth anything. I'm not worth fighting for. I'm not worth sticking around for. And sometimes sometimes I think about suicide and just
Mhm.
think, it'll just be better if I wasn't even here.
Wow.
Because it's just, I'm not doing anything with my life right now. So I feel like I'm just wasting space. And
Mm.
I seem to can't keep a man in my life. And I feel like it's because I'm not trying hard enough. I'm like, and I always think that if I try hard enough, then they'll stick around, but
Yeah.
they all leave. And so then I'm always back to square one. And so
Yeah.
I feel very worthless and like I have no value and really that I'm not worth fighting for. And that sucks. It
Yeah.
really hurts
Yeah.
to think that you're not worth fighting for and like people come into your life and then they just leave you willy-nilly,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
so
So I'm wondering if maybe the relationship with your father has something to do with those feelings. If he was not really there for you, wasn't a stable presence in your life, that caused you to feel like, these feelings that you're not worth fighting for, that you're not worth hanging around for, that people are going to leave you and that sort of thing. And maybe that has something to do with the depression that you have felt after this breakup, kind of like this guy that you thought was, somebody that really loved you. that the fact that he has left now, that brings back the feelings maybe from what you went through with your dad.
Yeah, yeah, I never thought of it that way. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because it's like when I because I remember there were times when I was like a kid and I will go show him something that I did. Like I was like a really good student in school, so I'll show him
Yeah.
like my reports and things like that. But he didn't really seem too impressed by it, and so I was always trying to like make him happy as a kid,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I never really felt like I did anything, and so it really made me like hate him
Mm.
because I wasn't, he wasn't telling me like that, he loved me and he wasn't telling me good job and things of that and things
Yeah.
like that. And so,
Yeah.
yeah. And I know that with my boyfriend, well, my ex-boyfriend, it was the same thing, like he wouldn't tell me, like I tell him I love him and he wouldn't say it back. And
Mm.
I try to do things for him and he wouldn't be receptive of it. Like I try to cook for
Yeah.
him and he'll criticize my cooking and
Wow. Yeah. So it's kind of like with your dad all over again.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't understand it.
That has to be really painful when, important authority figure and someone who's, supposed to love you and everything, that they seem like they're not, being affirmative towards you, that they're not encouraging you or telling you they love you or anything like that. That would be really hurtful and affect how you feel about yourself.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. Because like I want to believe that like I'm worth something and that
Yeah.
I'm worth fighting for, but that's hard to believe when you don't see nobody doing it.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as you know, this is a Christian counseling center, and so I just want to tell you that I believe that God loves you, God cares about you, and you are worth fighting for, and your life is worth something because God says that you're worth something. He, according to the Bible, He gave His Son for you, and so that makes you very valuable, and He has a purpose for your life. So don't give up. Hang in there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I think there's a lot of things that we can do to try to work on the depression, um, with Adlerian therapy, which is what I tend to favor. We have something called reorientation, which is kind of where we help you with what you're thinking about and kind of the way you handle life and everything, and just kind of make some adjustments. And I also like to incorporate some cognitive behavioral techniques. And so it's just some different things that we can do to kind of help you, like with the thoughts that you're having, when you're having thoughts about, I'm not worth anything, my life is worthless and things like that. We can, show you ways to change what you're telling yourself and come up with some things to help you to, think of other ways to think of yourself and teach you how to control your thoughts, like um, thought stopping techniques. When you start having those thoughts, that you can take a hold of that and be like, wait, stop. And you begin to tell yourself things that are true and helpful. And there's a lot of different things we can do, like trying to schedule different like activities during the week, like things that will bring you pleasure. We can work together on that, finding things that will give you a sense of accomplishment or even just fun and enjoyment. And, doing activities like that can help. Um, and like we might look into like an exercise routine because that's something that can help your mood too. And are you currently like, do you have some sort of exercise that you engage in?
I used to go to the gym 3 times a
Yeah.
week when I was with my boyfriend, but since we broke up, I haven't been since.
Yeah. Yeah. Exercise can really help you with your mood. It seems like it just releases those feel good endorphins,
Yeah.
and somehow it just helps you to feel better about yourself overall. And you get busy doing something, and so you might want to, look into going to the gym, or if you don't want to go there because like you're worried you might see your boyfriend there or something, maybe but try something else like swimming or going for a walk, something like that. And
Okay.
that can help your mood too, just help you to feel better.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll look into some things like that and just kind of work together on developing a plan. And another thing you can do is like a journal where you journal about your thoughts and
Mm,
kind of,
I do like to write.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, you can use that and just help you to be more conscious of what you're thinking. And you could also keep track of like positive things that happen because when you feel depressed, it's like hard to really notice those things that are happy, those things that are more positive in
Yeah.
your life. You tend to focus on the negative. So like
Yeah.
keeping a journal and writing about the happy, exciting things that happen, the positive things that happen during the day each day, that can kind
Mhm.
of, shift your focus and improve your mood and everything. So, yeah, I think
Okay.
there's a lot of things we can do to help you out.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I'm pretty
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah. We'll incorporate, since it's a Christian center, we'll incorporate, looking at the Bible and what God says about you. And I think that'll encourage you to, you can maybe, utilize some scriptures about God's love for you. That'll be encouraging.
Okay.
So, all right. I look forward to working with you some more on this.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Janet. And
Nice to meet you too.
all right. I'll see you next time.